The militancy was what actually killed Idris Deby, the president of Chad. He was fighting against some militants that were approaching in N'Djamena, the capital, just on the same day when he was declared the president for the sixth term. This guy was about to become the president after contesting 5 different times in the past, winning all those elections, which were most definitely fraudulent. And he won this recent election and he got killed the same day when he went into the bushes with his military guys to go fight the militants, the FACT. That's what the acronym for the militants that killed Idris Deby. They were approaching in N'Djamena, the capital, and then he went up there to meet them and then he got killed in the process. Now, many people are calling him, he's a hero, he's a true leader, he's a warrior. He died in the process of protecting his people. He died as a warrior. He needs to be respected. Listen, I'll give him some credit simply based on the fact that I remember one time that Idris Deby led Chadian military guys into Nigeria to fight off Boko Haram, and they were successful. During that campaign, Boko Haram killed, I believe, 100 Chadian soldiers, and then Idris Deby vowed that he was going to retaliate, and in the process, they killed about 400 Boko Haram members. That is commendable, I agree. But at the same time, at 68 years old, you're still going to fight off militants. Do you not think that you have a hand in the creation of these militants? Because when you got into power, I'm talking about Idris Deby, he was a 38-year-old young man, a militant, took over power from the previous administration, the president, I can't remember his name, Hadre, that's what he's called. And then he became the president for 30 straight years and did not fix the militancy problem that he was a part of that led him to take over power. Now, under his watch, militancy, terrorism, insecurity, poverty, those things got worse simply because he did not do a good job as a president. And I'm being real right now. I was respectful in the previous live stream because I was talking about a freshly dead person. But in real life, let's be critical because that's the only way that we can solve our problems. They are about to make the same mistake. History is about to repeat itself in Chad because right after Idris Deby passed away, his son, Mahamat Idris Deby, that's his name. This guy took over power in a military, in a temporary military formation, whatever. They suspended the constitution of Chad. A 37-year-old son of Idris Deby took over power. A young man that most definitely has no experience in managing the resources of a huge country like Chad, a country that has a population of 11 million people. You're probably going to steer them towards more destruction. Plus, you still have the enemies that your father created within his administration that hate you, that are going to be trying to fight against you. And at the same time, you still have the FACT militancy group that killed your father that will be coming after you. So more than likely, you've been set up for failure. How come we keep repeating these same mistakes without finding a proper solution? The real solution would have been Idris Deby. You were the president for the first couple of years, 5 years, 10 years. You couldn't solve the problems of Chad. Step down, resign. But no, that's not the case. Let me explain something to you guys. You see, when it comes to these African politicians, that political position is like an addictive drug. And they get deeper and deeper. They get sucked in deeper into that mess. Because in the process of you attaining a political position, what happens is it comes with money, power, and respect. And you enjoy that situation. You don't want to leave the opportunity where you're getting all types of women, you have money, you have access to the best things in the world at the expense of the people that you're governing. And then while you're trying to hold on to power because you enjoy all the perks that come with it, you suppress opposition members. You throw them in prison, you kill some of them. In that process, you're creating enemies for yourself. And then it leads to a position where you are forced to hold on to power because the moment you leave power, someone else takes power away from you, you become vulnerable because you've created so many enemies that are after your life. They're there to kill you. And that's why a lot of these African politicians behave the way they do. They get into power, they have no idea how to solve the problems of the countries, but they refuse to leave power because the moment they leave power, they become vulnerable. And that was the case of Idris Deby. This guy is 68-year-old president, went into the bushes to go fight against militants. He got killed in the process. He was a militant when he took over power 30 years ago. Let that sink in. So if you were a militant and you took over power because you were a frustrated militant, why couldn't you solve the problem of militancy? The simple solution to solving that problem is creating mass educated people. Create a platform where majority of your citizens have access to education. They have access to jobs. This is a country that has natural resources, minerals. They have oil. Why can't you harness these natural resources, convert it into jobs so that your people are employed? Listen, when you have people that are employed, people that are educated, there is a lesser chance of these same people falling victim to religious indoctrination. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to this militancy, terrorism thing, a lot of it stems from religious indoctrination. So if you're not able to solve the problem of the militancy that you were a part of, why didn't you step down? Nobody forced you to be the president, but you chose to remain as the president. You rigged elections so many times. Now you're dead and you're about to make the same mistake. You've passed power down to your 37-year-old son that has no experience running the country. The saddest part about this whole thing is that the people of Chad, the regular people, they are the ones suffering. And this is the same exact story in many other countries in that area. You go to Cameroon with Paul Biya, same shit. 41 years, has no clue what to do about solving the problems of Cameroon, but chooses to remain in power. And then he's supported by France, because obviously France likes a stooge, an African stooge leader. Not only France, a lot of these Western countries are that way. Same thing is going on in Burkina Faso. Nigeria is a little bit different, but it's still similar. Same thing is going on in Nigeria. Same thing is going on in Niger. You have a bunch of criminals that found themselves in the position of presidency, leadership. They don't have a clue how to solve the problems of the country, but they choose to remain there by force. Greed. Man, I tell you guys what, man, we need to start speaking up against these people. We need to continue putting pressure on these criminals because we are the ones suffering this mess. At the end of the day, we are the ones bearing the brunt of the mess of these criminals. A guy like Idris Deby that just died, he's 1 in a million. Most of the time, they don't die. They live long. What's crazy is, it's like we have dementia. Once they retire from those political positions where they have destroyed the lives of millions of people over the decades, we, the people, the victims, we call them elder statesmen. We revere them. We eulogize them. That shit has to stop, man. It has to stop. We need to start holding these people accountable, and more people need to start speaking up about this mess so that we can finally be emancipated. Aren't we sick and tired of being at the bottom of the food chain for so long? Peace out.